Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Behind the Scenes, where we peel back the curtain to discover how Vidyard customers are using video and Vidyard to accelerate their business and make more human connections. My name is Olivia. I'm a media specialist at Vidyard, and I will be your host for today. Today, I get the opportunity to chat with the winner of the Protégé reality show, podcast host, and certified risk and benefits architect, Derek Hayden. At Shelbyville Insurance Services, Derek works with the business leaders to identify, minimize, and control risk issues in order to positively impact their profitability. Let's get Derek on here.
Derek Hayden wins the Protégé with 61.9% of the votes. Woo!
Derek, I couldn't think of a better way to introduce you than to show that clip. I love it.
That's awesome. I'm glad you chose that one. That pumped me up already. So I'm pumped to get going.
Welcome to Behind the Scenes. I've got a ton of questions for you, Derek, but I also just want to remind our audience that we are taking questions from the viewers. So just add your questions in the comment section and we can pop them right on here. Ready to get started?
Let's do it. Olivia. I'm pumped.
I also am pumped. All right, diving right in. When it comes to using video, where did it start for you? What were the original goals or problems that you were trying to solve?
Sure. So I've been in the insurance industry I'm actually in my 10th year now. And
congratulations.
Thank you. So when I first started, I was a young dude. I was 23, 24 when I started. And it's a crowded marketplace in the insurance industry. And I was really struggling to gain traction, get visibility with my marketplace. I really needed something different to stand out. So I luckily had an opportunity to go to what's called a new producer school, one of our insurance carrier partners' headquarters. And we had a sales coach there. And the one thing that I remember them talking about was you can't blend in with the crowd if you want to get visibility. And they talked about social media. And of course, 10 years ago, social media was still on the rise and Facebook was still really cool for younger people. And so I remember talking a little bit about video and what other people were doing to get visibility. So when I got back to the agency after that class, I asked if I could take over our social media platforms, mainly Facebook at the time. And I actually started with a Tuesday tip is what I call it. So I call it Derek's Tuesday Tips. And what I would do was go on Facebook every Tuesday and post a picture or a video sharing a tip, kind of using some humor to get people to like and share and comment. And so I started using video through those tips. And, as we prepared for this, Olivia, I kind of went back and looked at those tips from, about 7-8 years ago, and the videos were awful. Looking back at them, they were terrible. Just quality wise, they're all fuzzy. And I was like, man, I can't believe anybody watched those, but they helped me gain attention in the marketplace. So video and social media helped me gain some traction where I was really struggling as a young producer, young agent. And so that's kind of where it started, was using social media with video to gain some attention.
You were doing social selling before it was cool and hip. You were trend setting.
I guess you could say that. Yeah.
It's interesting the way that we've changed, even over the past 2 years. I've noticed the way that we digest content and the way we prefer to create. I mean, we're looking at TikTok, Instagram Reels, like we see that content on LinkedIn and it like transcends different platforms. And so the infrastructure around that is now supporting it. So your videos were probably cutting edge for the time. I'm sure maybe in 2022, our capability is a little different, but that's the cool thing about video now. Anyone can do it.
That's right.
When you are creating videos, what Vidyard tool do you use?
So I like to use the Chrome extension. And so most of my Vidyard experience or usage is for one-to-one prospecting. That's where I've gained a lot of traction, especially during the COVID era. And even before that, Before video gained even more momentum, I probably had a little more success pre-COVID. But yeah, I use the Chrome extension, and the way that I like to get attention of prospects for one-to-one videos is I get very, very hyper customized to the client or the prospective client. So I can use the Chrome extension to do a screen share. And when I use the screen share, I will there's two things I like to do. One is I will either go to their website and find the like meet our staff or meet our team section. And if they have the picture of the individual that I'm trying to contact, I will pull up their picture on their website. So whenever, obviously, Vidyard, you can share your, I think it's called the thumbnail in the email. So when they see that thumbnail, they see their picture, their name, their business, and they know that I have created that video for them. It's not, a canned video that I just blasted out to a bunch of people. It is specifically created for Olivia or whoever I might be trying to reach out to. So I use the Chrome extension very extensively for one-to-one prospecting. The other tool or tactic I use is if I can't find their website, I go to their LinkedIn page and I will pull up usually I'll click on their picture so their picture is enlarged and they can see, okay, this dude is stalking me or something. But it's very hard for them to pass that video up because they want to know why Derek Hayden has a picture of them on their email. So the Chrome extension is one I use pretty extensively.
Hyper-personalized video for prospecting. I can't think of not only a better tactic, but also a better segue into the video that I'd like to share with everyone tuning in right now.
Perfect.
Hey Terry, my name is Derek Hayden. I'm a risk advisor with Dancing and Shelbyville Insurance. I just want to reach out to introduce myself. Terry, just want to reach out to see if you're ever interested in looking at your insurance and risk management program. We work with a number of your pharmacy competitors across central Illinois. We have a great program for it. Would love to introduce you to it, talk about how your business is running, what your issues are, and explain how we can provide some of those solutions to help streamline your small business and help you operate in a more profitable manner.
There's more to that video, everyone, but we're going to cut it there because we've got so much to talk about. If I was a KISS fan, you would have had me. You would have had me.
Yeah.
How engaging. Walk me through kind of what your thought process was on that.
Yeah. So I always, the specific reason that I was researching that type of business that this prospect was in is we were having, first off, we're having a lot of success writing that type of business, insurance wise. We could provide a really good program for pharmacies. So I just spent some time researching pharmacies in our area. And so I'm sure there's some insurance professionals watching this. We'd like to call it, there's a little book out there called The Extra 2 Minutes, written by David Carruthers. So I try to take the extra 2 minutes to dive in a little bit deeper than the average person probably does to make the video stick out to the person I'm sending it to. So I took some extra time to research the owner of this particular pharmacy chain. And what I found through his Facebook was he was a huge KISS fan. Like everything was about KISS. He was going to a KISS concert. He had, in the background of his Facebook profile picture was, KISS memorabilia. I was like, okay, so here's what I focus in on is obviously he probably won't be able to turn down a KISS video if it's sent to him by email. So, anyway, that was my thought process. Was I dug in to hyper customize this video and spend a little extra time customizing it, making it more personal for that particular individual. So, anyway, and then I just did a screen record of a KISS video on YouTube, and then cut into me talking about his pharmacy. So spend a little extra time researching ahead of sending the video.
Mm-hmm. Now, what else do you do to prepare yourself for creating videos? Scripts or no scripts? What else do you incorporate?
Sure. I personally am not a script person. I do better if I'm just ad-libbing, and I feel like I am too robotic sometimes if I have a script in front of me. Now that being said, when I first started doing video, you kind of have to at least write out some notes and have in your head what you're going to talk about. And if I'm doing like an educational video where I know it's going to be 3-5 minutes long, that's a lot of content to put into a video. So I'll still list out, make sure I talk about this, and this. But if I'm just sending the video to, a one-to-one, I've done enough of them where I know what I want to say in a, typically keep it 30 to 45 seconds just to pique their interest. I do enough of that I prefer not to script. So as long as I know what I want to talk about ahead of time, I don't script. And again, I've done video for 3, 4, 5 years extensively now. So it's one of those things. It's like riding a bike. You just hop on and start doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I am not a scripter, but I have worked with some coworkers and people that I help train and talk with, that I will, recommend a script to start with. So it just depends on the video, what situation you're in, and your experience.
Mm-hmm. I love that you go no scripts. I'm really trying to find my way there, because part of the beauty of video is that it humanizes that connection and any of these processes, and being authentic and having little mistakes along the way kind of encourage that. And a script can hinder that sometimes, but avid script user, doing my best to get on your level, Derek.
Whatever works, Olivia, whatever works and whatever gets you the video produced.
In your role, how are you and the team using video to communicate at Shelbyville Insurance?
Mm-hmm. So I personally, I talked about one-to-one video for prospecting. I also like to use it for introductions. So we work, Shelbyville Insurance is an independent agency. So that means we work with a number of insurance carriers. You'll hear, the commercials of State Farm and Farmers. Those are, basically they are captive to that company. So the people they work with behind the scenes are usually pretty organized, where we work with a large number of people to go gain access to different opportunities for our clients. So to make sure that people know who I am and get them comfortable with who they're working with, I send video introductions to underwriters, to claims professionals, to risk control people, just so they understand that, I'm a real person behind the name, and to make them, it gives you a little more credibility. If you can connect the dots with someone's face over video, and they just open up a little bit more. So I do a lot of video introductions to people that are not necessarily in our agency, but at the carrier partners that we work with. I also do some video introductions to, we have a podcast, myself and one of my coworkers, his name is Garrett Ulmer. We have a podcast, and I do most of our guest prospecting, I guess you would say, kind of one-to-one prospecting by video. So I will reach out to them to get, to gain podcast guests by using Vidyard. And I'll do the Chrome extension and try to have their website, their picture in the background, and I'll send those usually over LinkedIn, because I'll have the connection, made there. So, and just use video in general for our podcast as well. So there's a lot of things that our team uses video for, but that's what I focus in on.
Okay. Speaking of LinkedIn, we have a couple comments coming in.
Uh-oh.
Mark would like to know, did you end up writing the pharmacy account?
So that, Mark, I actually did not, because that individual was very good friends with his current agent. So I did get the attention, though. I got an answer back, and they said no. But, I wish I could have, but we got obviously an answer back, which was good. So that's always what we're looking for, is the response and communication between us and the client or prospective client.
Mm-hmm. You got his attention, that's for sure.
Yes.
And Allison says, getting started is the hardest part. Hit record and learn to laugh at yourself, then do it again. I couldn't agree more. That's the beautiful thing about video too, is unlike what we're doing right now, it's not live. You can delete and start again.
Right.
Nothing's
Exactly.
All right. My next question for you is, how do you leverage Vidyard analytics once you've sent an email to close deals or help improve your content?
So analytics wise, I use that again very extensively when I'm sending one-to-one prospecting videos. So most of the time, a lot of times it's what would be considered a cold call or a cold video. I have not met the person; they have no idea who I am. And if I send a video, I can send a ton of videos. And for me, when I'm cold outreaching or reaching out cold, meaning they've never talked to me over the phone in person, I prefer to start with video because if they can see my face and they connect the dots, then I'll use the analytics to see who has watched that video. You can see how often they've watched it, how long they watched the video. If they've, sent it to someone else, maybe in the organization, you can tell by using those analytics who is going to be more of a warm prospect. Because if they've watched it very quickly and then they watched again, or they've sent it to someone else in the organization, I can use that information to now I have a warm prospect, not just a cold prospect. So I use the analytics to identify which prospects I should follow up with immediately by a phone call, or which ones that maybe you can tell are hesitant to watch, and then I'll follow up in person, or it's not as urgent, I guess you would say. But I use that information to gauge how warm they received my outreach.
And what's the reception from your prospects like when you're sending a video first? Have you seen an uptick in responses and interest?
Uh-huh. So it depends on the person. So
Okay.
some people, if they might use video often in their business, and there's just another video for them. But on most occasions, in fact, myself and my business partner Garrett, he and I met with a dealership. We've actually met with them for several years in a row. And the very reason why they keep inviting us back is because our initial contact was by video. And they've talked about every time we go in is like, the only reason we can invite you guys back in here is because of the video you sent us. And in fact, they were so interested in the video, they wanted us to give tips to their sales team on how to use video. We've not done that yet, but video it's just a very good way to communicate. I mean, it's not the phone. It's easy to hang up the phone, but if it's a non-intrusive way to get in front of someone. If they want to engage with you, they can click and watch the video, and then we can communicate further after that.
Would you say that video is the norm in the insurance space?
No, not yet. It is getting more normal, but insurance in general, the insurance industry is kind of slow to adopt technology, and we're getting better. But compared to other industries, video is still, I want to say cutting edge in the insurance space. But if you do video, you are still, I would say, upper tier. There's not a ton of agents that are doing it yet. There's a select few, the more of the I want to say elites, but there's more people not using video than using video in the insurance space right now, is what I'll say.
And within that group of people that are using video, how many of them are hyper personalizing to the extent that you have a little Kiss concert on your laptop screen?
Well, it depends on how many are watching this live right now, because more of them might start to. So no, it's I'm sure there's a lot of people who don't take it as far as I do, but there's a lot of people who don't get as much engagement as I do as well. So I doubt there's as many people. Insurance, a lot of people say, is a numbers game, which is true. You have to touch a lot of people. You have to try to get in front of as many people as you can. But I take a different approach. I want to have a very focused number of people that I reach out to. I don't want it to just be another phone call. I don't want to just be another stop by and drop my business card off. I want it to be a very, very laser focused contact so that they understand that I've researched their business. I am there for them. I am not just another, tack mark on my tally sheet. So I want to make sure that they understand that I am there specifically for them.
And it's a reflection of what it will look like working with you long term as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
What are some of your tips for increasing adoption at your organization for using video or insurance across the board?
So, the first tip I would say, especially in the insurance industry, if you are not using video proposals, that's another way that I use video. Not necessarily always with Vidyard, but I have another tool. Um, our website developer, Forge3 is their name. They have an integrated video proposal platform that works awesome. And I've had a lot of success with that. I'd say start with that because in right now, COVID times, people are hesitant to meet face to face. They are used to being able to access things whenever they want. So if you can do a video proposal, start with that. And like Allison said in the comments before, you can always record that. And if you didn't like the way you explained a certain coverage or a certain policy, you can hit stop and re-record it. And that will give you the opportunity to practice and then put your proposal in front of prospects easily, and they can watch it whenever, however many times they want. They can refer back to it. And that's where I really started seeing a lot of success, was when I started using video proposals to present quotes to prospects.
Well, you've been receiving a lot of praise in the comments as well. Derek, your content is appreciated and your above and beyond effort outshines others. Keep
Thanks,
going.
Allison. Holy cow.
We have another question from LinkedIn. Lisa wants to know any advice or tips on how to build confidence in front of camera, especially for those starting out with video.
For me, I would say act like I'm just talking to Olivia here. So if you are in business, or if you talk to anybody in general, that's what you're just communicating. So just communicate with the camera. Communicate as if you're talking to somebody, explain it to somebody. The good thing is you can always hit stop and re-record. So there's no pressure. There's less pressure doing video than there is over the phone or in person, because you can't just stop and re-record in the middle of if you're in a meeting face to face with someone. Oh, hold on, I need to rewind and restart. That's tough to do, but in video you can. So I know it's easy to say no pressure, but just act like you're communicating with somebody. You're talking. You can even name your camera. If my camera's name was Olivia, I'm just talking to Olivia. Hey, Olivia, just wanted to talk to you and introduce you to whatever we're talking about. And I also I follow Marcus Sheridan, if anybody's familiar with him, on LinkedIn and have seen him speak in person. He gives a good tip for people to get comfortable with the camera. And actually it goes against what most people think. It is the no stop, or I think it's what he calls the no stop recording. So if you're talking and you mess up, don't hit stop. Just keep recording, because if you messed up, that's your authentic self. Video allows you to be more authentic than, just be you in front of the camera. You can just keep going, and you're probably going to get more engagement if you are just yourself in front of the camera than if you are, nervous and robotic. And so there's a lot of things you can do to get used to it, and just do as much video as you can. Just like anything else, practice it every day, multiple times a day, and you get better.
There's something within the Vidyard marketing team. I believe it was Jesse who had coined the term, but a 3-take milkshake, where you have 3 shots to record your video, and by the 3rd shot, it's over, which is something I've really, really benefited from, this rule of thumb.
There you go.
Moving forward.
That's
right
a
in
good
line
one.
with what you're saying. Yeah, and it's got a fun name to it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'll keep recording them over and over again, and then I'll have 20 videos to look back at. And let's be real, they're all pretty much the same.
Right.
And you're always your harshest critic, right?
Exactly.
This kind of goes in tandem with the last question, but is there one piece of advice you would have given yourself a year ago when it comes to using video?
Do more of it. It's video. It's funny because you hear people say, well, video is where everything's going. It's not where everything is going. It's where everything is. So the more you can do video, the more video you produce, the more attention, the more, the more people will be able to engage with you, the more reputable you become. the more video you produce, the more your audience gets comfortable with you. And I would say, if I could have said anything to myself, just keep producing more and more and more, as much as you can without, forgetting about your full-time job. So, but it's going back to, I think it was Marcus Sheridan said this, I am a marketing agency that happens to sell insurance. So use that as the mindset, as much video as you can do to get in front of people, and gain credibility. Do as much as you can.
And hopefully video in all contexts, more live streams for you and I, Derek, because I've had so much fun today. I feel like I've just caught up with an old friend, and I'd love to do this again.
Absolutely. And one tip for everybody, before we sign out, we hit on it early. So I won a reality show recently called The Protege. And if you want to learn how to do video, actually the season 2 of The Protege is coming out here very soon. Actually, we're in recording sessions right now. I'm a coach. I'm coaching a team of 4 individuals, and these people are also kind of learning how to do video. Some have more experience than others, but if you go, it's a YouTube based reality show, again, called The Protege. It's where people compete and try to defeat challenges along the way. They have to record themselves defeating these challenges. And it doesn't matter if you're an insurance professional or not. You can learn by watching these people produce video that are trying their best to win the attention of the judges. So that's a way that you can always watch other people and learn from them. There he is. There's a team member right there.
I did watch an episode leading up to this interview, and it honestly, it was great. You were fabulous in it. So I'm excited to hear that you're on the coaching end of this, because you're going to be fabulous. I'm excited to tune in.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it, Olivia.
Derek, it has been a pleasure chatting with you. Everyone in the comments, thank you for tuning in and participating. It's always great to have discussion buzzing around what we're chatting about. So thank you. And Derek, I hope to see you very soon. Best of luck in coaching for The Protege.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Olivia. Thanks for the opportunity. And like you said, I had a great time. Hopefully we can do it again sometime soon.
Sounds great. Take care, everybody.